Is the stock market going to crash soon by 50% when the inverted yield curve reverses course? Today, I read an article on ZeroHedge.com written by Tyler Durden, likely a pseudonym for writers at Zero Hedge, titled Tyson Foods Warns Low-Income Consumers Are Cracking Under Inflation Storm. According to the author, Tyson Foods, the second largest producer of animal protein globally, plunged the most in 1 year after cautioning that heightened inflation is severely impacting its working poor customers, leading them to reduce their purchases of ready-to-eat products from its brands. Well, my friends, I am not surprised to hear about a slowdown because inflationary pressures are hitting many consumers hard, but I find it interesting that the author used the words severely impacting working poor customers. In this article, the author had what appeared to be an edited picture with a giant, ominous dark storm cloud over a Tyson facility. It is a really cool looking image, but it is also overly dramatic in my opinion. The author of this article went on to reference the chief financial officer at Tyson Foods, who warned uncertainties remain around consumer strength and behavior. Here are my thoughts. I don't think there is much consumer strength left for many Americans. Note I said many Americans, not all Americans. There are some people who are wealthier than ever and they continue to spend money. I spoke with a mortgage loan originator yesterday who was telling me about high net worth people who are buying multi-million-dollar homes mostly with cash. He said he's worked with some of these people who covered most of the purchase price in cash and only got a small mortgage until their financial advisors could sell some investments at the right time and free up small amounts of money to pay off the notes. While we were talking, he said there are some people like this who have more money than they know what to do with, and they're driving the prices up on expensive real estate. He said there are a lot of other people with normal jobs who are now priced out of buying a home. Someone making $50,000 per year at a job isn't able to qualify for just about anything on the market, even if it is something in a less than desirable area of town. A lot of people who contact him have no clue what they can get approved for. Many feel defeated when he lets them know what their budget is going to be for a home because they don't think there's anything available in that price range, and they're probably right. Some of these people are left to rent, which keeps getting more expensive. These people are really being crushed by inflation, and most of their money is spent by the end of each payroll cycle. They just can't get ahead. As everything in life gets more expensive, they have less money to spend into the economy for discretionary items. For the working poor, the situation is even worse. Many of them are barely hanging on and relying on credit to survive. I am sure this is why several different companies have been in the news recently talking about lack of consumer demand for their products, especially food away from home. Sit-down restaurant dining and fast food are more expensive than ever. I don't know how some families do it. I see countless people dining out. I still see parking lots that are full. However, I suspect a lot of these people are not paying cash for their meals. I am sure some don't want to alter their standard of living, so they are just using credit to buy what they want. A day of reckoning may eventually come. If I were in a situation where I would need to cover the cost of my sit-down restaurant meal with a credit card with no ability to pay off the balance at the end of the month, I wouldn't do it. I'd buy food in bulk at the grocery store and I'd hunker down at home and live within my means. I would not be going into debt for a dining experience. It's just not worth it, in my opinion. It's scary to me that some people are carrying debt in this high interest rate environment just so they can continue to fund their preferred lifestyles. Now, that's not everyone. There are some people who have no choice. They are trying to make wise financial decisions. They are buying in bulk and eating at home, but it still isn't enough. Their wages haven't kept pace with inflation, and they are struggling financially. Some rely on credit just so they don't go hungry. I'm sure this is one reason why a lot of people are upset that the US government is giving money to other countries instead of helping poor people here who are struggling financially. I just worry about what is going on with everyday American people right now. If we are hearing about companies like Tyson warning about what is happening with consumers during a time when the mainstream media tells us the economy is booming, what in the world might we start hearing about if we see unemployment spike or if we see a major correction or crash in the stock market? There are people who believe that will never happen because the Fed will always come to the rescue. And maybe they're right. They have done that countless times in the past. With that said, there is something that is always in the back of my mind, which is the possibility of them losing control. What if they try to intervene and it doesn't go as planned? Look how crazy things got back in 2020. Equity prices dropped like a rock. Bitcoin dropped to the $4,000 range. The price of silver tanked. To be specific, silver hit $11.84 per ounce in early 2020. I loaded up when that happened. If all those trillions of dollars had not been injected into the economy and stimulus checks weren't issued, and there were no eviction moratoriums or student loan moratoriums, who knows how ugly things could have gotten. Do you think we could have possibly seen soup lines like during the Great Depression? It's certainly possible. We will never know because the Fed came to the rescue. But look at all of the inflation that has ensued since then. Look at the divide between the super wealthy and those at the bottom and how that divide has widened since 2020. There was a price to pay when all of this was done. I have to wonder how many trillions it is going to take if and when a black swan event comes out of nowhere and wreaks havoc. I thought the bailouts during the great financial crisis were ridiculously large, but they were dwarfed by what was done in 2020. What could possibly be the scale of what is to come in the future, and how will it impact the masses? I'll let you answer that question in the comment section below. Mr. 10X himself seems to be worried about some of these types of things lately. I read an article on Yahoo Finance put out by Benzinga and written by Janine Mancini titled, "Millions of Households Will Have Their Retirement and Savings Destroyed. Grant Cardone Foresees Devastating Stock Market Plunge of 50%. The author of this article referenced a warning from real estate investor Grant Cardone, which he posted on X. He said, "Warning, stock market is due for 50% correction, taking S&P below 2,674. Tens of millions of households will have their retirement and savings destroyed by being invested in stock market at these levels." I'm going to stop here for a moment. I think Grant is using the wrong terminology. It has always been my understanding that a market correction is a drop of less than 20%, and a rapid drop of more than 20% is a crash. Perhaps Grant should have used the word crash instead of correction. Or perhaps I'm just being too picky. Getting back to the article, Grant Cardone is concerned about the inverted yield curve, which has been inverted for over 500 days. He notes that this has only occurred 3 times since 1920, which were in 1929, 1974, and 2009. Following each of these periods, the market experienced declines of more than 50%. I'm going to share my thoughts. Is a 50% decline in the market possible? Sure, anything is possible. However, we are living in a totally different financial reality than we were in 1929, 1974, or 2009. The Fed has kind of been like vanilla ice since the great financial crisis. Their unofficial mantra is like the section of Vanilla's lyrics where he said, "If there is a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while my DJ revolves it." I'm going to modify those lyrics slightly for the Fed. If there is a problem, yo, I'll solve it. Check out the hook while QE and more liquidity resolves it. Do you think any modern politicians want a 50% decline to happen on their watch? Heck no, they don't. The Fed, who is supposed to be independent, will likely feel the pressure from every direction to use every tool and creative tactic as a short-term band-aid to keep the system propped up. That's basically what they've been doing since 2008. Take away the candy and the kids start screaming. Here's a question that I have. What is Grant Cardone's motivation for issuing this warning on X? Is he just trying to share his thesis in an attempt to help people, or does he have other motives? According to the author, he recommends transitioning retirement investments from the stock market to real assets that generate monthly cash flow. Well, Mr. Grant Cardone may want more investors for Cardone Capital, so the money can be used to buy more real estate. Note, I said may. I'm not accusing him of anything. I do suspect he gets wealthier as more properties are acquired and then managed by his company. Understand, I'm not bashing Grant Cardone. I'm just pointing out that his recommendation is not exactly unbiased. I think Grant Cardone has accomplished some amazing things in his life and worked very hard to do so. But some of what he has accomplished has happened on the backs of other hardworking people that he surrounded himself with. He wasn't able to scale everything up on his own. From what I've heard, some of those people he surrounded himself with have done really well financially. Here's the thing though, if we ever do experience a stock market crash of 50% and the Fed tries to intervene and it doesn't work as planned and unemployment skyrockets and sectors of society start to break down, how are all of those Grant Cardone properties going to stay rented? What kind of delinquencies might occur? What kind of vacancies might occur? What type of rent reductions might need to happen? Is the business model currently in place ready for a Great Depression style era? Maybe it is. I don't know. I've never seen behind the curtain at Cardone Capital. I'm just asking these questions as things to think about. I'd love to sit down with Grant Cardone in his Gulfstream G650 and talk about it. What do you think about all this? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Please keep in mind that everything in this video is for entertainment purposes only, and nothing in this video is financial advice or advice of any kind. If you need advice, seek advice from a qualified professional in good standing who puts your interests first and foremost. If you enjoyed this video, consider subscribing to the channel. Please also consider sharing this video with your friends. I want to extend a special thanks to everyone who has subscribed to this channel. I want to also thank all of my channel members. If you would like to become a channel member, there is a link in the description beneath this video. You can read more about the different membership levels. Please also check out some of the great books that I suggest you consider reading in the description below. I've included Amazon affiliate links to these books. As an Amazon associate, I earn from qualifying purchases. Stay healthy and wealthy. I'll see everyone in the next video.